The Inside Stepinac Basketball Podcast is back, and once again, it is brought to you by All Pro Cleaning and Restoration, a Balfour company, commercial, residential property restoration and construction company. Services include fire and water damage restoration, mold remediation, HVAC, duct cleaning, and complete construction services. Been a valued service provider for Westchester County and the Tri-State area for over 35 years and a proud supporter of Stepinac basketball, as is White Plains Hospital, a sponsor of GameDay One, and has been so good to high school athletics, Stepinac basketball, and GameDay One since we started. And now, the Inside Stepinac Basketball Podcast with Coach Patrick Massaroni.
The champs are here for the fourth year in a row. Archbishop Stepinac has won the New York Catholic League. No team in the illustrious history of the New York Catholic League has done that. The Crusaders, they made history. Head coach Pat Massaroni joining us here once again on the Inside Stepinac Basketball Podcast. And he brought some friends on our show here. He brought his staff here. Hector Martinez, Sheppard and Alexis Nunez. Most of the staff here on our weekly show. And Pat, obviously last week, we took a little bit of a break. We had, unforeseen circumstances here in the studio. But we're back. And how you feeling right now, Coach?
Yeah, we feel great. I think day by day it continues to hit what we did as a group, this team, but what the last four teams have done. I think you said it best to start here. Obviously, there's majority of us here. I know I've hit on it kind of weekly, and many people have reached out, especially not being in some of our pictures, but Swain has been continuing to battle some health situation, and he's progressing and doing much better. And hopefully he's back in the gym with us soon. I think sooner than he wants, but we're thinking of him and happy that part of the staff here, and Al, Alexis, and Heck from the non-coaching side staff is with us this morning. And again, we apologized last week. There was stuff that we couldn't control with the weather and technology and whatnot. But we're here. We're back, the four-time champs. And 5 since 18. I think people forget about the 18 one just because of the 4 in a row here. But we're excited for a great show and whatnot.
Let's just talk really quickly about the game. You win your semifinal to get to the championship. We talked all year about pressure. Mm-hmm. What level of pressure was there at, right before tip-off of the championship against Hayes?
Yeah, I think for me personally, it kind of went away right beforehand. But so we won the semifinal on Wednesday night. We were off Thursday. But, as us as a staff, we're preparing. We're trying to figure out what Hayes might do differently. Alexis is coming up with the scouting report. All the different things that we had going on to get to where we're at. For me personally, Friday and Saturday, I don't know. My stomach was in a knot. The feelings that I've never felt before. You always get nervous before big games or situations, but I think because there was so much history on the line that that was the case. Now, I didn't go ahead and show the team that or anybody else that felt that way, but it was. Yeah, there was pressure, no doubt about it. There was just a different feel going to the game, walking into the game, the locker room. But credit to these guys that are with me and us here today. Just the preparation we put in, and when you prepare, when you have preparation, you have buy-in, and you combine the two, good things happen. And for us, great things happen. And the pressure went away real quick when the ball went up in the air.
And it was nice to have Josiah back. Obviously, he didn't have him for the semifinal. And, obviously he was on the wrong end of a flagrant foul in the quarters. Mm-hmm. Has to sit out the semis. Was there any real concern about him not playing in the championship?
No, he's such a tough kid, right, from the Bronx. He really didn't even want to sit Wednesday. It was more so the doctor's orders of where his ankle was at. And credit to him and our athletic training staff, to Burke Rehab, Rescue Lab, Myrna Brady, everybody around the clock, his parents getting him to places. But he was doing 2 to 3 treatments a day, morning and night, and then during practice as well. And I think once kind of he got the clearance from the doctor to resume some sort of activity on that Friday, it was just the adrenaline hit on it, and it took over.
25-4. There was a 72-59 win over Cardinal Hayes. Close early on, I tuned in, watching from the county center, and I'm like, Hayes is hanging in a little bit. Second quarter just kind of blew them out. I mean, what changed in that second quarter?
Yeah, I think for us, you get the early jitters out. Hayes had mixed up a couple things. They were being extremely physical, specifically with Josiah and Darius. they changed their matchups, which was interesting to see. So we had to adjust a little bit. And then, you get into the big moment. The crowd filled in a little late, kind of like LA Forum style.
Yep.
Getting to the Bronx on a Sunday. And then our defense just ramped up. And we turned it up a notch, going to half up 10. And we talked about the first 4 minutes coming out and putting a foot on their throat. And next thing you know, you looked up. And for me, I looked up, there was like 1 minute and 6 seconds to go. And I was like, I think you could sub now. I think we're okay. But on that note. No.
Yeah, you always talk about, and I love it, you never miss an opportunity to talk about your coaches and how much they mean to you, the support they give, how they are with the players, how it's just like this whole team works together as a staff.
Yeah.
So let's introduce, bring these guys in. And Timmy, let's start talking about, Hector's, of course, as you said, he's not a coach. He doesn't sit on the bench during the games. But you made sure you wanted him to be a part of this. Why?
I mean, he's been with me just the second longest tenured guy besides Swain. I mean, Swain all 11 years. Heck came in after year 1. Again, still go back to the true baller days. I think I have those pictures in my phone and where his kind of career has gone. So we got, Heck on our digital side, which is in 2026 become a huge asset of programs and whatnot. So we got Hector with us today. Hector Martinez. Many know him as Moving Dot Pictures on social media. Obviously, Swain's here with us in our thoughts and prayers. Al Sheppard, who's been with us and me for 7 years, and then Alexis, year 5. Correct, Lex? So it's been a great group. Even my lower level staffs, the guys that have been in the program, our varsity B staff. The best thing is, and we hit on it all the time, like we know our pros, we know our cons, we know what each of us bring to the table. I've been really open about it as I progressed in life and more so had kids and my kids have gotten older. I've needed guys to do different things for me. So, Lexus is ramped up when it comes to scout, Al and Swain when it comes to, skill development, and all three of them when it comes to in-game adjustments, pre-game adjustments, the overall dealing with kids and parents in today's game. And been fortunate enough to have a great group, a small group, but a group that understands the culture and way we want to go about it. And that's been the best part about it. And then Hector just kind of his team, the group of people that he's had around him has been able to capture these moments in good and bad. Our buddy Dave Resnick says he will pay whatever amount of money to get raw footage of certain halftime conversations. I told Dave there's not enough money for that.
Heck. So let's bring in Hector first. You obviously probably want to celebrate a little bit when the clock hits 0. You got to go to work right then, right? I mean, so tell me about what sort of emotions do you feel in the closing seconds of a championship game like this when the kind of the main goal has been realized?
It's a sense of joy because I see all of my guys just happy winning, and it was a lot of pressure on us to get this four-peat done. And it's something that we didn't really talk about too much, maybe more so towards like the end of the year than the beginning. But it was always in the back of our heads that was the main goal for this year was to finish this four-peat. So honestly, I was excited for the guys. I was nervous in the beginning. It was a tough first quarter. It's a lot of back and forth, and playing in the Bronx. Cardinal Hayes is a Bronx school, so you get the they kind of had like home court advantage. But overall, it was an amazing feeling to see the guys, complete the mission.
Yeah, Heck, I love it. You always say my guys. Our guys, like you feel, obviously a huge part of all this. Just tell me about, the day-to-day and kind of like the grind of this and what you saw kind of from behind the lens.
Well, I've seen a lot of these. We have 9 seniors. I've been with them since they were freshmen. So I've seen them come in and grow. Like I was talking to Haas the other day, and coming from where he was as a freshman, like immature, kid from Harlem to now being one of the main leaders on the team, texting the guys, making group chats when we're on the road, saying, "Hey, we got to be here at this time." Like that's something that I would never expect from Haas, and just to see the growth from him and just all the guys that we have on our team has been very special to be a part of.
The amazing thing about Stepinac's success is that Coach Al and Lex. There's a clear rivalry between the two of them. They don't get along at all. they really battle head to. I don't know how Coach you put up with these two guys. But let's bring in Lex first. Obviously, we joke because they spent we were in our pre-show here. We had them on, and I don't think they stopped bickering with each other the entire time. Is this normal, Coach Lex? Is this normal for you guys as as the kind of the brothers that you guys have become?
Big brother, and I'm the big brother, so it's kind of go back and forth. No, we have a great relationship. So not just basketball, outside of basketball as well. And I think that all stems from just the culture and the bond that we have at Stepinac. It kind of shifts off the court and into our personal life. So that's my guy. Like I said, we go back and forth all day, through text, through the phone calls. It's all love. Like it's a great, strong relationship between us.
Lex, about last week, about winning on Sunday, beating Cardinal Hayes. Was there excitement? How do you compare it to the other three the previous year? Was it relief? How did you feel?
Honestly, just wanted to go out and play because I think we prepare so much and we prepare I think so well that we emphasize preparation. That it's just you just want to play, and there's no real feeling to the game, especially coaching wise. It's like I just want my guys to win, see, reap the benefits of them preparing and doing all this hard work throughout the year. But I'll have this up there because it's 4 in a row, but I think last year probably was the top one out of the 4. But obviously this is the 4th one in a row, so it's pretty special.
Absolutely. And Coach Al, you never want to take anything for granted, right? I mean, is that like the number one thing you got to keep reminding yourself and reminding the players and just kind of like even people who support Stepinac that this doesn't just happen?
Yeah, basically it's just because at any given moment you can lose, right? Like if you're not prepared, there's nothing wrong with being confident or even cocky. You got to have some arrogance when you play this game. But you also have to be humble enough to understand that you got to do the work. So any given moment you can lose, but the preparation was great leading up to that championship, to the focus, to guys being on time, to just locked in on details. And when we do scout, sometimes we go a little crazy, we go over. We'll do it 2, 3, 4 times, but it's to make sure that they're ready. So their mindset, their mentality going into it was top notch, and that kind of took away any butterfly feelings of could we do this, could we get it done or not.
Yep. Keyword preparation, right, Coach? Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the preparation because obviously this wasn't just a week's of preparation. This is years upon years of preparation with this team. Who do you, and not that you want to give anyone individual credit, but like I think about the Ratlifts, like how much they've developed. Who in your staff kind of work with them, and obviously it's been inside and outside of Stepinac, but just the amount of work that went into them, and then you get to watch them have just the two of them just absolutely shine in that championship.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody played a different piece to it from the initial, Swain early on, and then, to Lex, to Al, to myself. I think everybody's got a different way of it. We never overstepped, right? I would say more, you could say Swain on the disciplinary side, me on the day-to-day and, trying to get the mature side. Lex when it comes to tendencies for them and others. Al just on their overall mental space and skill development and dealing with them and some things off the court as they progressed. And, so everybody's got a different piece. Heck, probably, calming them off the ledge on different stuff that they didn't like about me or us. So everybody's got a different to it. And then I always go back to most of these guys and specifically them, like, just Theo being on our team and same with their mom as well. And Christina, like being on our team and what we did. And Mom actually sent a note the day after just talking about she appreciated the tough love that we as a staff had on her sons, which in 2026, that's not a normal thing to be said or to be done. And I think the win is so rewarding and all of them are, right, are so rewarding just because of how hard we go and the effort we put in as a staff and as a group to get to where we ultimately want to get to, and that's to be the final team standing on the Sunday in March.
Yeah. Coach Al, I remember going pregame 2 years ago, watching you work the Ratliffs in pregame. And they didn't see a second. Either one of them played a second in that championship 2 years ago. I think it was Nazareth, right?
Yeah.
And from then to now, those two guys, just how much can you sit back and just kind of appreciate the growth of those guys?
It's actually a little surreal, just because not only, like you said, working those guys out, and they don't even touch the floor, but also coaching them, freshman year and having them play freshman for me. So to see where they're at now, to see them come in, and they probably could have been two guys that played varsity as freshmen, right? But as Coach Pat hit on, the maturity, the timing, and then the development, right? So I don't think that they took any moment that happened in Stepinac as a slap in the face. I think everything that happened in their 4 years was, they understood like it's a part of the process, right? And they just worked. So to see them come in, and me and Adonis actually was just talking about it. We had a day in practice, and it was where those two just, like as freshmen, those two just went through a shooting contest, because they just kept battling each other, saying that they're a better shooter. And like half of my team picked Adonis, half of the freshman team picked Darius. And it was after practice, and we might have stayed an extra like 20 minutes waiting until one of them missed the shot, right? So when you see their growth and where they're at, coming through the door as 6'4", 6'5" freshmen to now 7-footers on their way to USC, it's a little bit insane. But it's also a testament not only to the program, but really to them and to, as Pat mentioned, their families, right? Like Theo never overstepped, and he's in practice with us a lot. Like anytime I would say something to Darius or Adonis, a lot of times Darius, just because Darius is more around the rim as a rim protector or post-up guy, or a bruiser, let's say. He never like second guessed or stepped over me, the things that I say. It was always like, listen to the coaches. He's telling you the right thing. And they helped in that process. So to see where they're at right now, I'm beyond happy for them, but also blessed to be a part of their journey.
Absolutely. And a big part of their journey. Let's go back to Heck, because this is something Coach just mentioned now, and it was something I want to talk about. I see Hector taking a lot of pictures, taking a lot of videos, doing all this stuff, but I also see him talking to the players a lot. And I don't eavesdrop, but I get the sense that he's very much a trusted person in their lives, right? So, Heck, how much do you appreciate that? How did that happen? How do you not overstep the bounds of the coaches and the coaching staff to not undermine anybody? Because I'm sure, like Coach has said, like, they come to me, they go to Heck because they're upset with Coach Pat. How do you kind of balance all that?
I feel like that's been, since I've been a part of the team, I've just always had a good relationship with all the guys, even from like the RJ Davises, the AJ Griffins, the Boogie Flans, like all those guys just naturally just gravitated towards me and just like entrusted me. And it's always been I've been an outlet outside of like the coaches. So like, let's say if something's going wrong with something that they can't say to the coaches, that they could say to me, and they could trust me that it's gonna stay between me and them. And like if it's crazy, obviously I'll mention it to the guys, but it's just having that level of trust and being like a kind of like a big brother figure that they can entrust to just have another outlet of somebody to speak to.
Coach Pat, how important was that?
Yeah, I think for the last 10 years, and I think the kids and the guys see it, but Heck's also been a sounding board, for me. And, there's been this year more than anything, there's just been, I don't want to say hiccups. There's just been, there's been rough things that have happened throughout, internally, externally, an adjustment for me, for the staff, for all of us, right? When Swain went down, he had a huge role in what we do on a day-to-day, and still does from behind the scenes. So, there was different things that happened to some of our players. Most recently we offer our condolences to Lexos's grandmother. You go down the list, and I'm going to leave stuff out here, but there was different roadblocks, and then also just the negative connotation that kind of was out there from so many, that, Heck has always been a sounding board for me, and I think he appreciates and understands, because he does work on the other side, like my day job.
Yeah.
And so as much as he's a sounding board for 15 to 18-year-olds, he's also a sounding board for this guy when certain things are going good or bad. So I've appreciated it from day one. The work speaks for itself, what he's done, and more, obviously everybody sees his photos, but like the video work and the editing that and the time that he does it in.
Yeah.
And I needed something like sitting at Friday night, the Garden Friday, and like he did it like 3 seconds for me, and that just anything I could rely on. So I think people take for granted our social media team and digital team.
Yeah.
And Heck's been the leader of that and teaching kids and whatnot. It's been, I can't thank him and the staff enough.
Well, there's an artistry to Heck's work that I think people don't totally appreciate or totally understand or maybe don't acknowledge, which is there's so much emotion. And it's like, listen, there's hundreds of people with cameras, right, that go to games and can film. I go to games, but like I feel like as I get through the season with the team, I get like more emotion into it, and Heck does it every single day. It's pretty remarkable, the work he does, and just the quality of it alone. Some of the things he's done this year, some of the new features he's added, I love. It's been awesome. They didn't have this when Coach Lex played at White Plains, right? So let's talk about this for a second, because Coach made a good point here about it's a lot harder to coach now than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Lex played for Spencer Mayfield, who's a legendary basketball coach. It's just a different time now in terms of coaching. So, Lex, how are you guys able, as a staff, individually with the players, able to overcome, especially the early season roadblocks that you guys had as a program? You're muted. There you go.
Honestly, I think it's similar, coming from a background like Coach Mayfield, where it's based on discipline. I think we hold that same standard of discipline. Actually, probably even more, because we have more, like, the talent level is different, and I think that's why we've been successful, because we hold them to a level of accountability that you really don't see. If you come to, like, obviously you've been to a few practices, but if people come to a random practice, they'll see us getting on, the Josiah Jervis of, going to Michigan State, the Twins, these players that are Haas or whoever, like even from down to our 12th man, we get on them about working hard, being disciplined, being held accountable. So I don't think that that it is any different from the past. I just think you have to build that culture, and you have to stay to it, and you have to really believe what you're saying. And obviously the success helps us out because I see that it works. But to be honest, I think the coaching that we do as a staff at Stepinac has been great, and has instilled that discipline and that hard work factor that not a lot of programs follow.
I thought you weren't allowed to yell at players in 2026 when they have NIL deals and all this stuff going on, right? You're not allowed to. I thought you weren't allowed to get on kids anymore. They can just transfer, right?
Yeah. I mean, not at Stepinac. We're gonna let you have. We're gonna let you have it if you're not following. If you're not following suit, just because that's we want to teach them more than just basketball. That's real life, and life situations are not going to be all pats on the back and it's okay. No, you're gonna have to grind and put the work in, and that's how we carry it. So it's been good, and it's been a breath of fresh air, because that's definitely like the background I come from. So to be able to do it here at Stepinac and continue it, and have a bunch of great coaches on the sideline pushing the same message, it makes it a lot easier.
The NIL stuff has been interesting. I don't know. So this show, we're in episode 15 right now, Coach?
14 or 15.
14, 15. I don't think there's any other individual teams, Coach Al, you might back me up here in the city, that has their own podcast, a coach who goes on every week and talks about his program, good and bad, like this. So how much of the Stepinac, I don't want to say hate, whatever it is, the Stepinac attention, positive and negative, do you guys kind of just let it roll off? I mean, Coach Al, how do you guys kind of handle, week to week, there's something that comes out of this show that people talk about?
You're about to go viral.
I honestly think just keeping the main thing, right? Like, we block out all the noise. We live in a world now where technology runs everything, right? Like, you say something, it goes viral. You do something, it goes viral, right? But that's not the end all be all with us, right? The end goal is not only chasing championships and trying to go create history as we just did, but also getting those guys to that next level. So when Coach Lex taps in on, just being able to coach the way we want to coach even in 2026, old school ways still work, right? You just got to adapt it to your culture. And if you look around the country right now, we got guys who come in and they play as freshmen in college basketball in the world right now where guys are taking 26, 27-year-olds to play college basketball. Mm-hmm. Guys are leaving the G League to come back to college. But a Stepinac kid is not being looked over because of the preparation that we put in for you guys. So we block out all of the social media noise. We have the best social media team in the country, high school, and we definitely will put up with a lot of colleges as well. But we also get to the work. That's the main thing. Like if we was putting out bad product, or we didn't have the product to put out that would look great across the social media, we wouldn't do it. But we stick to the work. We're true to the work, and that needs to be broadcasted. So that's why we, coaches created this kind of platform. Mm-hmm. That's why, Heck might, put 4 or 5 videos out in a 2-week span. Is because you should see what we're doing over here up in White Plains, because it's great work, and it's actually producing not only top-notch players, but top-notch young men, top-notch program, top-notch coaches, top-notch fan base. So the world needs to see the Stepinac community in a whole.
Absolutely. Coach Pat, with this podcast, has there any part of you that after each week to week been like, oh man, this is adding a level of stress that I didn't necessarily need?
No, I think when we started this 2 years ago, and nobody talks about last year just because it was a different setting and a different platform and whatnot. And I don't think the pressure to win last year was as much as this year, but do want to just hit on, something that kind of went viral to Al's point and clarify. And maybe I didn't do a good enough job when, you, our guest Kevin Clancy from Barstool were here, truly explaining, right, when it comes down to what NIL is, mm-hmm. right, and exactly what was said there. So first off, I understand, right, young, old, and different, the Instagram commentators out there, the DM haters, right? NIL has a really bad image, right? Yep. That's just across the country. Throw out Stepinac, right? Yeah. The connotation that comes with it is that it's a pay-to-play situation. My guys on this Zoom here, everybody else at Stepinac has nothing to do when it comes to the specific NIL deals, right? And there's other kids in this state that have NIL deals. Yeah. So I go back to, if you or Al or Heck or Alexis or anybody, the guy on the street, right, we're in a commercial, does that person get compensated? Right? Can we all answer that? Can we all, right? So, like, that person gets compensated. If a kid is in a show or a commercial, an ad, of course, there's compensation all the way down to little babies, right, with Gerber, all the way up. So, just for example, we go back to signing day this November, right? On signing day, Uniball, okay, the pen company, very nice pen company, they went ahead and they endorsed through name, image, and likeness the 5 guys that were signing that day. Uniball branded the event. They branded the pen. They branded the social media side. And those 5 guys, along with many other athletes in the country, received compensation for that. That wasn't Stepinac. It wasn't Al. It wasn't me. It wasn't Lex. It wasn't Swain on it. So I just want to clarify, because there's a connotation of what's going on here, and finish with that it's legal. Yeah. One, it's been embraced in New York State by many, and I think it just goes to the fact that because of the hard work these young men have put in, mm-hmm. that they're receiving different deals, some more than others, because of their name, their image, and likeness, because of their success on the court.
The elite level basketball players, no matter where they go to high school, are going to get this opportunity to do this. The fact that they go to Stepinac doesn't mean that it's Stepinac's problem. It's basically how I tried to explain this to somebody recently. I said that if they went to Cardinal Hayes, they went to Zavarian, wherever they went to school, they went to White Plains High School, they would get this opportunity to have NIL, and then it wouldn't be their fault, the school's fault. So anyway, so that's where I just
wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, it was important to clarify, because I know it's there was when I posted on the GameDay One And I saw the views and the thing, and I'm like, oh, this is great. And I start reading, I'm like, this may not be great. But then I say, listen, this is just reality. That's the other part of it. That's just reality. You got to adapt, like you said in episode 1.
Yep.
Adapt or move on. That's basically what it is, right?
Exactly.
So what other sort of, again, did you feel when you won that, last Sunday that, did you get love from every corner of the city? What sort of response does Stepinac basketball get right now? I see the smiles and I see the shaking the heads from Hector. It seems like.
Go ahead, Heck. You go first because I'll give him my thoughts.
So, it was a mix. It was love and hate, more hate than love, to be honest. And one thing that stuck out to me, I'm walking out of Fordham. We had just showered Pat with water. Water still on the floor in Fordham University's basketball locker room. The first thing I see on my phone is Stepinac's run over. What do we think about next season? The game literally just ended. There's still water on the floor. Pat's still soaked, probably in the middle of changing his clothes from getting soaked. And we're already talking about, well, I think Stepinac's run is over. We're taking a poll online. It's like, what are we doing? There's no congratulations. Amazing job. Something that's never been done in the 100+ years of the league. We're talking about next year. Like, didn't make any sense.
That's where's that?
Who's saying that? Is it city basketball people? Who's saying that? You think, Heck?
I think people are just tired of us winning.
A little fatigue. Okay, so understandable Stepinac fatigue. I joked a couple weeks ago. You guys have basically become the LA Dodgers, where it's like somebody else got to win here, right? The Dodgers enjoy winning though. You enjoy winning, don't you?
Yeah, no, winning's fun.
Yeah,
as Lex said, it's the rewarding part. Who doesn't like winners, right?
Yeah.
That's what I always come down to. Who doesn't like guys that come out of winning programs? Who doesn't like being around winners, right? Why do wealthy people stay around wealthy people? Why do people that have successful businesses want to meet with other successful business owners?
Yeah.
Why do CEOs, network CEOs, we want to be around winning, and that's what we're about. So, I think, Al could touch on just kind of on that topic. To Heck's point, they didn't tell me to about an hour after I saw the screenshot, a poll out there. He didn't even get back to school yet, and it was out there, but.
Did you vote in the poll? Did you vote in the poll?
I don't even follow the account, to be honest with you. No.
Keep being mad. We really don't care. It's the best thing about sports is always the storylines, right? The storyline on this one was creating history, something that's never been done in 100 years plus of this league, right? But then again, the other storyline is who can dethrone Stepinac, right? Keep trying. Good luck. We love it actually fuels us a little bit. We can do what everyone else does, right? We can talk every week leading up to a game. We can put out little clips. We can do what everyone else does, but that's just not the Stepinac brand. That's just not what we do. We talk at the end when we win. We post when we lose. We talk when we win, and we back up whatever we say. There's people who talk and I've been here 7 years. There's some people who haven't got a win in 7 years.
Yeah.
Being very honest. But yet they run their mouths as if they're sitting at the top of the league. And it's okay. Find whatever motivation you need for your program to be better. But when we talk, you have to deal with it because we get to talk for a whole year before y'all get another chance to find a way to try to get another win. So the noise, the hate. As a coach, I also am a former player, and I take it. I put both hats on, right? I love it. No, if I was a player, I probably would hate Stepinac. If I was going up again, I would probably be right now. If I'm a sophomore or junior, I'm probably working out right now to be better, to find out how can me and my team get a win and get them off the high horse that they're on. But we're there because we've put the work in, and it's in the record books, right? It is what it is. So we don't really, we love it. Please continue to talk, because one thing about Coach, about Heck, we keep a lot of receipts. A lot of receipts. We know what everyone's saying. Even if it's 2:30 in the morning, we seen it. It got to us some kind of way. You didn't get to sneak it in. You didn't get to delete your story before we saw it. We saw it, and we'll just use it for next year. And again, you just got to deal with it all summer, all year. So right now, whoever's talking, whoever's mad, whoever's pissed off, good. For a long time. And this is in history. So you're going to be mad for the next 100 years because this ain't being done again.
Coach Lex?
Yeah, no, to add, to be honest, nothing changes within the program. Like when other teams, other people, outsiders are talking about us, whether good, bad, or indifferent, nothing changes in the locker room. Like we don't coach harder. We don't have it plastered all over the locker room. We don't have a million conversations about what people are saying. Like it gets mentioned and then we move on and we get back to regular schedule program. So, and I think that's why a lot of people get upset is because we don't, take the bait. We just do exactly what we do every single day. We work no matter who it is. We play. We were down 3-4 starters throughout the year, at some point, and our approach never changed. Like whether whoever's in the starting lineup, whoever's, day to step up, our approach never changes. We coach the same exact way no matter who's on the court. And I think that's what's, is not being spoken about by other schools. It's like, no, whenever we have other people in the starting lineup, whenever we have guys sitting out, our coaching stays the same and our results stay the same because the way we coach and the way we approach every single day. So like all the, bad talk or whatever, what it is that they're doing, it doesn't change anything we do. We get to it. We work hard. We do it the right way. We prepare the right way. And I think that's that takes precedence of whatever, anything anyone else is saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, these guys hit it right on the head and whatnot. I think just want to, for all the Stepinac Nation and beyond, and the really, some guys sent us the analytics, right, on where this show, the numbers we're doing. And I think the people, to Heck's point, that don't appreciate or more hate, and really just to clarify the locker room video that came out after the fact, right? I think the adults, and that's where my reaction to what was said and done, like I think the adults forget that they're high school kids.
Yeah.
And there's other platforms, other media members, individuals that in the end, like they're 15 to 18-year-old, some 19-year-old boys. They go to high school. Mm-hmm. They have to do academic work. They have, significant other problems. They have peer problems. They have social media hate. There's drama and whatnot. And when we heard adults talking in a negative light leading up to the championship week about our guys, that was why the words were said and my actions were done after we won. Because in the end, a couple things, like the achievements that this group took and the achievements that these guys had, you could never take that away. And the other thing, too, is to predict next year is just in that moment and in that week is something that I had to address. So that's really what it is. And in the end, they're kids.
I wasn't sure if you were talking about which video you're talking about. I thought you were talking about the TikTok, because the TikTok was awesome, right? How much fun was the TikTok video that the team produced that you were dancing in, and how much did you enjoy doing that? And I showed it to my kids, and they were like, "Dad, that's awesome."
It was. Look, we have I don't know. Heck can hit on this. I'm clicking buttons on TikTok. I'm still learning TikTok. Like the Instagram page has been an organic build over 11 years. I don't even know if there was Instagram when we first in year one, right? Like Twitter, Facebook. But TikTok, my guys and our guys have been on me more and more. And it kind of was like after everything was done, I would say Josh is probably the biggest TikToker, right? Would you guys all agree? Like he has a huge following. He kind of, Patrice and Josh are huge TikTokers. And they kind of were like, can we do something? And I literally handed Josh my phone on the Stepinac account, and look what came out.
Gold. Yeah. Absolute gold. And it was fun, man. It was fun to see all that. It was just a cool thing. So we have, obviously, Inside Stepinac Basketball Podcast, episode 15. the post-championship celebration. Coach Pat Massaroni, Al Sheppard, assistant coach, Alexis Nunez, and Hector Martinez. So there's 4 of you here. You guys lost 4 games this season. So I want to do a little I'm a big believer in looking back. Yes, we can talk about all the wins and all the great moments, and I will truly believe that the season changed for the better and a little bit after each of the 4 losses, right?
Yep.
So let's let Hector start with the first loss. You go to St. Francis, Maryland. You lose on opening night. Number 1 team in the country. The world's falling down. Stepinac's not as good as everyone thought. What was kind of the outcome of that game walking out that night?
I mean, it was our first game of the season.
Yeah.
To me, this was a brand new team without Danny, because Danny was like another coach on the floor from what I saw for the last couple of years. So having that as an essential part and trying to figure out who's going to play point guard, like who's bringing the ball up the floor, who's going to help run the offense. We didn't have that. So I feel like the first couple of games in the season, they were just trying to figure out what's going to work. Even the coaches were trying to figure out what's going to work, and that was like a main message that they were adamant about. We're going to figure it out. And I remember them saying that multiple times, that we're going to figure it out. And when we do figure it out, it's going to click. And you can see it ultimately ended up in being a four-peat. But we played a lot of top guys in the country on their home floor. Like the St. Francis game was at their place. And we lost to Paul VI at their place as well.
Yeah.
So it's not really like we took any home losses. I think we were undefeated at home. We went 20-0 in the CHSAA. I think our average margin of victory was 21 plus in New York State. So
complete and utter dominance. You know, the PVI, Lex, let you take the first PVI game, national televised game, ESPN. You know, what do you think the players got out of being in an environment like that, and how much does that help them moving forward?
Yeah, the environment, it was a great environment. Great environment. They got a great program, great team, great players. I think for our guys, I think we were still kind of finding our niche, like just seeing where everyone what part everyone's going to play. So we're still finding our role, which kind of hurt us in the first half. And then also we were still getting on the point of playing to exhaustion, right? Playing really hard every possession, playing together. Just our daily principles. And I think that was just another bump on the road where it was just something that we needed to take just so we know what we have to work on to continue to work on down the road. But that environment was great. That coaching staff, that team is great. It was a pretty good game too. I think, like I said, I think every game we lost, we could have won. So just, it's just another bump on the road that helped us get to the end goal.
Yeah, learning how to win is a skill, right? As a team, and you guys are 2-2 at that point. You get Coach Al, you get a rematch with PVI in Florida, obviously shorthanded, again on national television. Tell me about what you learned from that group that night, because even though it was another loss, I still felt like you guys had to have walked out of there a more confident team, right?
Yeah, I think even with that loss, we came out of that thinking that we actually turned the corner a little bit. That game right there came down to, honestly, about 2-3 possessions of 50-50 plays, right there. I think that might have been one of PVI's lowest scoring games. Was one of our best defensive games. You play somebody like that twice, where you kind of already feeling each other out, understand each other, and then it comes down to the little plays that gets you over the hump. To take a little quote from I saw a clip of Tiny the other day, and Tiny said, when you have championship teams, the non-conference out-of-state games prepare you to make a run in your own city. And I think that game right there, kind of, as coaches, I don't think we were mad at the end of that game. We wanted to win City of Palms championship, but we weren't pissed off. We were pissed off when we lost the first time to them, because there were moments of the game where we just felt like, they outworked us or they played harder than us. But that game right there, we left it all on the floor, and it came down to a loose ball here and there, a missed shot here and there, right? But I think that game right there kind of helped turn the corner of really learning how to win, how to close out games, how to be consistent, and how to be on the same string as a unit, which ultimately, yes, we do drop the one at home at Jordan Brand, but ultimately it sets our mind frame up to go on a run for the league, and knowing that we can prepare for this national stage, we can play on this national stage, we can win on this national stage, and then, if we, no matter who else runs into us, like we know we won't ever beat ourselves again.
I love it. Coach, the next game was your final loss of the season, December 27th. You lose to Montverde in overtime.
Yeah.
Tell me about that and how you kind of walked out of the gym that night.
Yeah, Adonis, we were like we mentioned, shorthanded going into it, going to Brooklyn. Obviously, an extremely talented team, prestigious program. They've been anywhere in the ESPN poll 1 or 2 in the last month. Dylan fouls out pretty early in the fourth quarter. Darius went down for a quick second with a quick injury, but we battled all the way back. Right, we hit a shot to force overtime. Going overtime, lose by 4, had another opportunity there to tie it late in the game. Guys stepped up. And I think from the second PVI loss, which was right before Christmas, and then the Montverde loss to Al's point, like the locker room just felt different. It felt like we'd taken the jump and figuring it out. And that's why we played the schedule we played the entire start to the season. And we knew we had one more huge non-league game in IMG to go out and get, which we did. But to think about it and not having not lost since then is pretty remarkable.
19 in a row. You didn't lose in January, didn't lose in February, and you haven't lost in March. It's pretty remarkable. Let's just talk about something here real quick. Another one of the moments for the season from our podcast was about Pat talking about himself, future, college. Heck, you've been around, as you said. You're one of the longest tenured guys. How much growth have you seen out of the head coach in these last 7 years?
It's been amazing to see. It's been amazing to see. I've seen Pat since before the kids to now with the kids. As a family man. And honestly, I feel this is a college level program as a high school, so it doesn't feel any different. Because I've been around college level programs and I see like the day to day, and it's similar, if not better, than a lot of college level programs. So, I think at some point Pat is definitely deserving of an opportunity at that next level, and as well as Alexis and Al. And I hope they get the opportunity. But I do think he is ready for any opportunity that is out there for him.
Lex, did you know Coach Pat growing up in White Plains?
No, not like a personal relationship. Definitely cross paths. Rest in peace, Coach Sue Adams camp. That she used to have at Highlands. So definitely cross paths.
Swish
camp.
Yeah.
And so how did you end up on the staff?
Honestly, I came down for one of the coaches' clinics.
He beat Al 1-on-1.
Okay. Yeah. I came down.
Things go viral now, Pat. Don't stop viral.
I'm definitely clipping that. But I was in grad school in Pennsylvania, and they were having the coaches' clinic that we usually have in September. I came down for that, connected with Pat, and then COVID hit, and I reached out to Pat about possibly helping out, but everything was kind of shut down, so it kind of really didn't work out. 2020, 2021, and then he just said keep staying in touch, and then things opened back up. I reached back out. I came in and we had a conversation, and then it's been great ever since. So that's kind of how it worked out.
What have you seen from Coach Pat? What's his biggest area of growth as a coach and as someone running a program?
I think from Pat, right, being I think kind of similar how I was a GA and Pat was a GA, you kind of are hands-on with everything. And how to do everything, how you want your things ran. But I think, being a GA, you get to learn every aspect of that revolves the game of basketball, right? From off the court to on the court. And I think his biggest growth is honestly giving his coaching staff a voice. I think that's a lot of coaches don't do that, right? And obviously you have to have the coaching staff to do that, right? You don't just want to have everyone represent your program. But I think he, as the years went on, he gives us a voice and he makes us feel just as important to the program and letting us shine in the areas that, that we shine, that, we're good at. And I think that's what makes him special, is that he makes everyone feel a part, and everyone, he gives credit to everyone when they do, what they're supposed to do. And like I said, a lot of coaches don't do that. A lot of coaches don't let their assistant coaches shine in different aspects and give them credit for it. And I think that's what makes our coaching staff, or you can say his coaching staff, special, is that the head coach allows us to be us.
Yeah, every player that I've had on, right, Coach Pat, I've asked them, why did you stay at Stepinac, right? Why did you not transfer? Why did you not go someplace else? Coach Al, I'm sure you had opportunities. You've thought about things, but what's made the coaches want to stay at Stepinac?
Just the culture, right?
The contract I made him sign.
Instagram lives.
Instagram live, right? No, the culture at Stepinac is something that that you want as not only a player but also as a coach in your profession, right? Like, you want to get better every day. You want to come in and you want to be at the top of your game every single day, even as coaches. Like, when we are, white versus blue, and Pat gives me a team and Lex a team, like, we're not coworkers at that time. Like, we're competitors, right? Like, we're trying to push our guys to get better, but also we're coaching against each other. I'm seeing where his mind frame is at, where he's about to run. He's probably doing the same with me. My record is a lot better than his, but that's for another topic. But so when you have a staff like we have, and then you have the kids that we have who buy into the work, who buy into, what it takes to get to the next levels. And this is not a Hollywood program. This is not a bunch of divas walking around the locker room. These are guys who want to get to work, guys who are coachable. It makes it fun coming to work every single day, right? It makes the game fun. It makes preparing for games fun. And then on the other side of it, being a competitor and knowing that we are being hunted and we are the target, it makes it a lot more exciting to prepare for teams, right? As a player, I've always liked the road games. I didn't like home games as much as the road. I like to go into someone else's house and get a win. So when we prepare for City of Palms, when we prepare for Vegas, when we prepare for Virginia, things like that, it brings it together as a family, and you have those special moments that make this game enjoyable, right? And that's probably the best thing about being here is that we are truly a close-knit family up here in White Plains, and we do a lot together. We spend a lot of time together, and the culture makes being at Stepinac very fun.
Absolutely.
You try to get a free vacation from work.
I ain't say Bahamas yet.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask you guys. You didn't go to Bahamas this year, but other than winning the
We
championship,
spent the week in Florida. It was 75 degrees every day.
that was nice. Tell me about. I'll start with Heck, about your favorite moment from the season. What looking back on this year, what are you gonna remember most? What day? What moment are you gonna remember the most?
You know what? I think the season as a whole, like, it's been an amazing year. And it's hard to, with this kind of year, and with these non-seniors, it's probably hard, outside of saying winning the championship, it might be hard to pinpoint one specific moment, right? Like, you get 3 McDonald's All-Americans. You get a guy like Hassan Karesi, who no one really even thought about coming out of his charter school for middle school, hits 1,000 points, right? You got Dylan Perry, who, was a shining star last year, didn't have too great of an AAU season, kind of up and down with recruitment, gets Division I, plays his butt off, truly earns a Division I scholarship, right? Haas is going to the A10. You got, again, 3 McDonald's. You sweep the board, ESPN games, beating IMG. Like, it's truly been a remarkable year that this might be the one year that for me, it's actually very hard to pinpoint what was the best moment of the year outside of winning. And to be real, it took a couple days for winning that fourth one to actually, like, settle in and hit, right? Like, we kind of got accustomed to winning a little bit. But this one was so special that it took a minute for it to actually kick in. But this has been a great year. Like, this is the year to really sit back and go and say, wow.
Yeah. Lex, do you have a favorite moment, Lex?
I'll say the same. I think the last game, just winning the chip, it's kind of like taking the weight off, the guy's shoulders and kind of putting we still got one more game left, but kind of putting, a tie on what they have accomplished in their 4 years. Like them, staying, doing what they're doing, having a great season, having a great career. That just, it really is great to watch. Like you said, in this climate where kids are leaving, everyone's transferring, it's great for them to kind of reap the benefits of their decisions, and their family reap the benefits of it as well. Selfishly, as a staff, I think my best moment, would be when we compete against the national teams. I think those really kind of stamps what we do as a staff, right? Against the IMGs, the Mount Verdes, and stuff like that, the City of Palms. It just shows that what we're doing is the right way. And I think that, for me, selfishly, I feel like that's like a pat on the back for the coaching staff. Like, yeah, we're doing it the right way. No matter who we have on our team, we're always competing on the national level. And I think that's a credit to our staff that we should definitely be proud of.
Hector, what's your...
Born and raised in White Plains, a small school in White Plains, is competing against those basketball factories is pretty special to see.
Absolutely. Heck, what's your favorite moment to what was your favorite video? What was your favorite moment to shoot?
Favorite moment to shoot. I mean, it's been a lot of really, really good moments this year.
Might not be done yet. Might not be done, but
yeah.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of really good moments. Like, for example, like when we dumped the McDonald's all over the kids after the game. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Like being around the McDonald's announcement, seeing all the guys excited for our guys. Signing day, seeing our 5 seniors commit to D1 schools was an amazing feat. Beating IMG, something that a lot of people probably didn't expect coming from a school from White Plains. The last championship that we just won. Is a culmination of things, and then also like highlighting like guys like Hassan, who nobody expected him to be first team All CHSAA this year. He's kind of been counted out, overlooked amongst our guys, and could have went anywhere else, transferred out, probably been the main guy at any other program, but stayed. And then just like the Jack Cocos, who have been like an internet sensation this season, and deservingly so, because he brings so much effort and so much heart to the team. It's just all those little things. It's been a special year. It's been a lot of accolades. Probably something that I'll never see again in my lifetime from one program, a regular high school in White Plains, New York. So it's been a special year for sure.
So, Coach, you have another game left. You just said it. You guys play Eagle Bronx.
Yep.
They beat Eagle Brooklyn.
Yep.
Upset them. Last game. No matter what, this is your last game on Sunday night with this group. Do you want this week to go slow? Basically, is that where you're at right now? And then tell me about the game.
Yeah, we to work back into Sunday. Eagle Bronx. Al and I went down. The rest of the staff, and the program was watching on YouTube. Some environment out at St. John's there. It was like a party, as Al and I were saying. It was something. But yeah, Eagle Bronx in overtime beats Eagle Brooklyn. Saw them play early this year in the Plunkett event, right? They played Christ the King. Have kind of followed them. Just, Rose's career, the head coach, he went from the JV coach at St. Ray's to where he is now. And for them, I if it's accurate, I think it's the first PSAL school in the last 15 years not from Brooklyn to win the PSAL championship, which is pretty remarkable. So, yeah, look, we have an opportunity here to go get to win 26, to win 20 in a row overall. We'll make the trek out to Brooklyn there on Sunday. And this week's about enjoying this time together. We've fortunate enough now 3 years in a row that we've been in this game.
Yeah.
We've always made last week really about fun and whatnot, and early in this week we'll do the same. And then I'd say probably, Wednesday/Thursday we'll really turn our focus back to preparation and understanding all the analytics of what Eagle Bronx does and what they do, and having a true game plan in. But I tell the guys all the time, every time you progress, right? So you get to the quarterfinals, you talk about the amount of teams left. You go to the semifinals, and then, we're the only AA team that's still practicing, and you still get to practice at this time of the year. People have shifted their focus. Seniors have ended their high school career. Underclassmen have shifted to AAU. And, yeah, we're going to enjoy this week, enjoy this time together. We have a bunch of media coming in throughout the week, and hoping we continue to make history in everything that happens.
Playing kickball?
We'll play kickball.
Yep.
We played kickball
that's
last week.
Thing.
We played kickball last week. It was a modified experience just because the full staff couldn't be there. 3 of our seniors were at the CHSAA Senior Combine.
Okay.
But we will be full go. It is intense. And it gets after.
You play?
I play.
Okay.
I play.
Who's the best kickball player in Stepinac basketball?
Ooh. Based off of last week. Overall, competitor knows how the rules.
Yeah.
And whatnot would probably be Adonis Ratliff.
Okay.
Top 3, I would go Adonis, Coco, and Josiah.
Okay.
Some don't
any
understand,
guys play?
They didn't play last week, but they're going to play this week.
They're going to play this week.
They didn't understand, if it's less than 2 outs and the ball gets kicked in the air, you have to stay on the base or you have to tag up. They
don't watch baseball.
Yeah, there's not a lot of baseball.
Yeah.
But the guys that played soccer growing up, /their competitors.
Yeah.
So we did last week just the way it worked out. It was the seniors that were there versus the returners, right? The Why Not 5 crew. So the 6 returners and the managers versus seniors and myself. So it'll be good this week. It'll be good.
The managers play too.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It gets intense.
Okay. And now the Why Not 5, what is that?
That is there's 6 returners that are going to finish in last place next year, according to the New York media.
Yes.
That are returning. Why not 5?
So why not 5? That's kind of I like this as a way to kind of end our show. Guys, on the Zoom here, why not 5? Right? Is that something that's already? You got another game left in this season, and you're going to probably savor this last opportunity with the seniors. But when do you start thinking about number 5, and is it realistic?
When do we start thinking about number 5?
Yeah.
Honestly, we don't. We just work. I kind of repetitive with the saying, but I said it when we did the another podcast, I think at the beginning of the season. I think for me, the way I go about it, just work every single day, and hopefully your work rewards you with being in the championship game, and that's when Why Not 5 comes back to life.
For me, Why Not 5? I would say to fully think about it when we're in season, right? Like that's gonna be the goal. The standard is the standard with us, right? Like we're not gonna say we got 6, returners and you guys are all young. So hey, if we get to the playoffs, we're excited, or if we get to the championship, that's not the standard. The standard is to be, one of the last 2 teams standing at the end of the year. So we'll focus on Why Not 5 when the season starts, but the work will start, after we finish the last game, take a couple weeks off, and then, put a plan in place for the younger guys to start coming in the gym and getting some work. And then they can start, their mentalities of, come back better next year to go chase and go get another one, right? But so as coaches, we'll start thinking about that, in the season. But I love the fact that these young guys are hungry and that they already got 5 on their brain, right?
Yeah.
You want a hungry bunch, and for some of the underclassmen who they've heard the same things that the city has been saying, that people have been saying about them, and to credit them, we've had a year of up and downs, of a roster that had to shift a lot because guys was injured and banged up, whatever the case may be. So some of those guys have actually shown that they can play, and that they're ready for the stage. But we'll let the city talk. We'll get to work, and then we'll prepare for 5. Come preseason.
Heck, wrap it up for him.
I'm not even thinking about 5. We still have a championship photo shoot about 4 that just happened. So I'm still in form mode. Celebrate 4, deservedly so. It's history. We'll worry about 5 next year. I'll leave the 5 talk to the media and all the naysayers that think it's over for us. I don't think I've ever been a part of a non-winning season with Step since in my 10-year tenure here.
Okay.
And we've just continued to put in the work day in and day out. Yeah, I'm still worried about 4. Like 4 just happened. I'm not worried about 5. They could have 5. The media could have 5. The city could think about 5. I'm worried about celebrating with my guys, making sure they stay in the moment, soak this, and just realize the accomplishment that they've committed. Because being a freshman to senior and not losing at all, not experiencing that feeling of losing in a chip is an amazing feeling.
Absolutely.
An amazing feeling.
One.
Whether they played freshman, JV, or varsity, none of these seniors have ever lost.
That's amazing. Amazing 4 years. Coach Pat, there's a gift for you underneath. It came from our. Is it in the table? No, Ryan's got it. Ryan's gonna come up with the gift.
Okay.
This is for you, celebrating win number 4.
Okay.
Ryan's our producer here from GameDay One.
All right.
Over this,
Am I opening on the spot? Thank you.
Ryan, not mic'd up, but yeah, so you open it up. Yeah, it's a little thing from Coach, from Ryan.
Might be a little good prop for the photo shoot.
No, you can't see it, but he's gonna open up here on the show. Yep, celebrating the 4, Connect 4. The game. We should put like the players' faces on this. Keep it in the locker room.
Get some competitions.
Little competition going.
That's
all they want. They're playing kickball to keep their mind sharp. So Connect 4 for the 4th win in a row. Coach Pat, congratulations.
Appreciate you guys.
This has been great. This has been awesome. You guys were great on the coming on the Zoom today. I appreciate you guys hanging out and wading through our little issues. But gentlemen, get back into the gym, play some kickball, and get ready for this weekend. All right, Alexis Nunez, Al Sheppard, and Hector Martinez. Coach Pat Mass, wrap it up. Again, you feel like you're going to be emotional on Sunday when the final buzzer sounds, win or lose?
Yeah, without doubt. I think it'll probably be emotional. We always do our year-end dinner, which is always an enjoyable night, which is pushed back just because we keep playing here into April. So it'll be a spring dinner. But I think the emotional part of it'll just be when this all comes to an end and really savor what this group has been, what this group has been about, the special run they've been on. To Lex's point, every level they've won, right? The 3 guys that were all 4-year guys, to the guys that did freshman and varsity, the guys that did freshman, JV, and varsity. Just going to enjoy this because nobody, I don't think, in our lifetime or ever will be able to get to 4. And until next March, our name's on the trophy. Yep. And there could be all the naysayers and all the haters. I personally love it, and so does the staff, and so do our guys. And the one thing about us is that we're about development, having really high-level individuals, really good student athletes, and continue moving forward with our program being unique and different. And the show's not over. We still got some more episodes here. There's to be some great recaps coming, some great news moving forward, and we're just going to savor this and continue to embrace what we did and go on a little bit of a celebration tour as well. Coming up here. We have some politicians that are looking to honor us, and some other individuals, and many benefactors and alums and whatnot. So we're going to enjoy it.
And this show is for them, right? And those big folks. So if you're ever going to start a podcast, this was a great year to start the Stepinac Basketball Podcast here in this studio. I want to thank LMC Media Studios. I want to thank Archbishop Stepinac, Coach Pat Massaroni for his time once again this week. Ryan, for bringing in the gift. And for everything. And our guys joining us on the Zoom. Congrats, guys. Enjoy. We'll see you next week. Probably going to be our final Inside Stepinac Basketball Podcast, brought to you by All Pro Cleaning and Restoration and White Plains Hospital. We want to thank them, and we'll see you next week.
The Inside Stepinac Basketball Podcast is back, and once again, it is brought to you by All Pro Cleaning and Restoration, a Balfour company, commercial, residential property restoration and construction company. Services include fire and water damage restoration, mold remediation, HVAC, duct cleaning, and complete construction services. Been a valued service provider for Westchester County and the Tri-State area for over 35 years, and a proud supporter of Stepinac basketball, as is White Plains Hospital, a sponsor of GameDay One, and has been so good to high school athletics, Stepinac basketball, and GameDay One since we started.